this was a fun slide to make because I just couldn't fill it up enough. There was so much. But when you're thinking about what kind of things can you include, I've now got the slide up in my lab at school because I want students to understand, like, these are all the things that you can start tweaking and changing to really address the impairments that their clients have. So thinking about changing speeds. Did you ask your patient to walk fast and walk slow? The other day in our walking club, we did a walk through honey exercise. So walking through honey or walking through mud, where you've got to really push and be deliberate and push through the honey, and they're walking very slow. A much different type of motor recruitment and skill needed for that versus just walk as fast as you can or walk your normal speed. So then we would call out, walk through honey. Okay, go normal. Okay, go fast. Oh, go back to your honey speed, and really asking them to adjust that. That was really hard for a lot of people. Looking at where you walk. Can you go outside? Can you vary the surfaces? Can it be in a busy environment? Can you add weights or a vest? Having a cup and a plate, a tray. How about a laundry basket or shopping bags on either side, or one shopping bag? Thinking about adding stairs and adding incline. Always asking about dual tasking, right? We always want to try to put that in. So what does that look like? Maybe I'm walking and throwing scarves. Maybe I'm walking and clapping. Maybe I'm walking and saying my ABCs backwards. Whatever that task might be appropriate for your client. Are you incorporating head turns when we're walking? Are we doing something with scanning? Can it be, I want you to look right, to look left, look up, look down, and calling that out as people are walking? Thinking about more complex sequencing. So this is where I'm talking about thinking more vertically. So we just think that we're going to walk horizontally, but people walk and then have to get on half kneel or to tie their shoe and come back up. Or what about crawling on all fours for a little bit and then standing? So thinking, that adds a huge complexity to a lot of our clients. And wow, now I've got to stop walking and I've got to think about how I'm going to get to the floor. But when you integrate that kind of stuff, that's more normal. It's what people are going to do during their day. Again, variable stepping. How about sit to stands? Again, your typical step over, maybe step under. I talked about floor work, definitely forward and backward walking, and consider resistance with that, whether it's a TheraBand, pivots, turns, and circles. And you could set that up where, you could have a 6 foot back and forth where it's walk forward, don't turn, but step backwards. Or it could be walk forward, turn around and come back and turn around. It could be 90-degree turns. I want you to walk in a circle and practice your turns. So lots of different ways that we could set that up. It could be long distance turns. I want you to walk for 100 feet and turn. Or it could be, I want you to walk 2 feet and turn. Reaching and hitting, or reaching while walking. Can we reach and hit something? So now I'm doing something with my arm while I'm walking, carrying something. Again, going back to reactive balance, can't get better at reactive balance without doing reactive balance. So is there a safe way that you can incorporate that? Walking on those foam balance beams. Hidden obstacles. I did this video for the stroke SIG that talked about obstacles underneath a sheet. And then having, they know there's obstacles there, but they can't see what those obstacles are underneath. So they've kind of got to walk. They know something's sticking out. They're not sure if they should step over it or step on it. Ideally, those are done in harnesses, but we didn't always have a harness. So I'm going to show you some videos today of kind of walking through and trying to be safe for someone as they're going over those obstacles. And waist pulls, those pulling on the waist somehow. Looking at anticipatory balance, again, reaching. How about moving items? Moving a chair, sliding a chair, pushing a bed, pushing a trash can. We did that the other day in the clinic. Going around something, reaching, squatting. And then looking at endurance and intensity. So you can do high intensity interval training walking over ground. So it could be a burst of 10 steps, or 30-second walk. You've got to have that space, right? So that might be a limitation. But you could repeat a course, especially if you've got lots of horizontal up and down. That could be very taxing and high intensity. or lots of sit to stands. You can repeat a course for endurance work, or add weighted vest or bungee ropes or resistant bands. So I'm just kind of reading off that and trying to give some ideas about all the different things we might be able to incorporate into overground training. And then I wanted to put something about documentation, and I'm going to let you know that I don't do a ton of EMR. So I'm hoping that maybe some of you, if you've got some other ideas of how to document, I'm kind of putting that out there, that we're still on paper in my pro bono clinic, which it's a love-hate relationship, but I don't have to worry so much about the click boxes and the getting reimbursed. I try to teach that with my students, but so this is what I'm thinking is like using those previous language in the previous slide. So are you using things like, oh, we did a contextual and environmental challenge, such as we included more complex sequencing, such as vertical and horizontal movements. So this is our friend Al. His goal was hiking. You can see he's pretty unsteady, but he loves his walking sticks. He's got some trees on his property that he wants to be able to be better at going through. So the girls gave him a backpack because he likes backpacking. You see him navigating tall obstacles are really nice. It changes. So if I touch it with my hip, which he does right here, it falls over. You see his face. He recognizes it falls over and tries to do better.
Slow down.
Oh, sorry about that. That's loud. So this is Mary. Mary is working on endurance. She has MS. She loves her music. And so the students are really working on this idea of back and forth, back and forth. Turns are not strong for her. She feel good doing that. So lots of turns. Now this isn't very salient. However, she does do a lot with pottery. So you probably could have mimicked pottery a little bit better. But this idea of just this back and forth, bending, twisting, you'll see she's competitive. She's racing the other student, and she's pretty engaged in this. And then she's got to hold her balance forward while she's manipulating with her arms. So she works on it. And again, back and forth. So they probably did this. They had 10 sets of boom whackers that they set up on the side. Here is an example of doing kind of, looks like circuit training, but because she's walking, I kind of consider it some overground. So this is a student who is practicing kind of sit to stands, forward, backward. I didn't let her turn around. I'm asking her to walk backward. And the other student is calling out what she should find. She walks over and grabs a tidal tank and is walking, doing lunges. Again, these are abbreviated versions. And then she gets down, she gets to the floor. She's doing some power twists and working on the floor. And then we ask her to get up, and then she repeats that. So kind of an example of a very short. Here is the unexpected obstacles, building confidence. And you can see, this is Mike. He's had a stroke. He knows the obstacles are coming, but he's not really sure. You can see his hand. He's got Alyssa's forearm. Totally, he's really worried. Ideally, we'd like to see people in a harness with this. We didn't have one, and he really needed work because his garage looks like this. And so he really wanted to work on this. So he walks on these unexpected obstacles. He steps up and over, your typical obstacle course activity, sidestepping through a very narrow, which is like his garage and pole barn. And then when we asked him how hard was he working, I think I put that in here. He said it was a lot of work. Here is working with Mike outside, and this obstacle course, he doesn't necessarily pay attention to the obstacles, but they kind of get in his way. And they worked on this. This was more high intensity. He's a loves the Detroit Lions, although I'm not sure why. But really working on the give and take. And so when the students work with him, they just, he just engages and his heart rate shoots up. Get a loss of balance there. Here's some other video examples. I just love all the up and down. She does some sit to stands. We kind of go through these pretty quick. She's going to walk on ice, which is the friction reducer. So they had done the friction reducer. I love the chairs. So going up and down, switching directions, going various transfers back and forth, back and forth. So they're recreating these, some of these that they did with their clients. I loved this one where she's stepping on compliant surfaces. It's multi-directional stepping, stepping forward, stepping backward, a little bit of balance strategy. Here's again, a lot of up and down, reaching, backward stepping, backward walking. Yes, they have 2 students there, but this could be done with 1 person if you picked the right client to do this with. So again, just some other ideas. I like the multi-directional stepping here with some cognitive. It's not really dual tasking, but he's saying step to the blue, step to the yellow, step to the white.